Hey guys, Mopire here again. I'm back. Been getting a lot of messages, emails, people telling me I need to do another video. Well, I took the holidays off throughout December, and then I started school again, so I've been pretty busy. But I've decided to come back to the game, and been back about a week or so, and been doing a little bit of farming, getting into Nightmare stuff. And I've gotten to the point where I can do a lot of the maps on Nightmare, some of them on Nightmare Hardcore. One of the concerns with getting the mythical loot is pets. You know, you want pets with pretty high stats and guardians with high boost, things of that nature. So I did some research, tried to figure out the best way to get pets. And for a solo character, it seems like the best way to get the higher level pets is from the Tavern Keeper. If you do a map on Hardcore Nightmare, you will tend to get some decent pets in the tavern every third or fourth map or so, unless you're lucky. All depends. If you get real lucky, you'll get a real uber pet, and it'll reset the mana value and only cost you 10 mana. So that's how I got some of my pets. I'll show you some of the ones I've been getting here. This Animus here I got for 10 mana. I got, I think, some of these Guardians for 10 mana. I know for sure this Apprentice Guardian was only 10 mana. So I've been buying some and just hanging on to them. Yeah, so obviously I don't have a whole lot of mana now. I started to get into Nightmare, and I had the mana cap of 2 billion mana at that point when I left the game in December, and started getting into Hardcore or into Nightmare. Started to do some of that, but I'm going to show you guys a map here that I prefer to do. It's a nice short map. You get roughly, let's see, probably between 16 and 20 million mana per run, plus some good loot. You, if chances are, if you're wanting to get into Nightmare, you have stats probably in the, say 500-ish to 700-ish tower damage in old school loot before the mythical stuff. This is a good map to start doing on normal Nightmare. I'm going to show you how to do it on Hardcore, but the setup's the same. The only difference is Hardcore, the mobs are a little bit tougher, and you only have one life, so if you die, that's it. No repairing, no upgrading, nothing like that. So, something to keep in mind. Anyway, the map I'm going to show you is Endless Spires on Nightmare and Hardcore. Hardcore just makes the loot a little better. Mobs are a little bit tougher. I think the loot, let's see, you probably get a few million extra because of the loot being better as well. So I'll show you my stats, which you don't need anywhere near this. I have about 1300 tower damage, 746 tower health. I think when I started doing this map on normal Nightmare, I was running about 800 tower damage. That seems to be a sweet spot. But you can upgrade as well to counteract that. So, alright, here we go. Endless Spires, Nightmare, Hardcore. You don't unlock Hardcore until you do Nightmare on normal, but chances are your stats are a little bit lower, so you'll want to start doing it on Nightmare regular. So here we go. Now I've seen a lot of setups for this map, and I've fine-tuned them, changed them up. This setup is going to be different than anything you see, and I'll show you how I do it. First thing you want to do, you do have a timer, so this is my preferred route for getting mana for the first wave. You want to put a Deadly Striker right here. And the strikers work really well for taking out the spiders. Spiders don't have a ton of health, and you want to kill them as quickly as possible before they get off their webs, because the webs can be quite a pain. So you can jump down here. Make sure you jump up onto the ledge and then jump. Don't try to jump over the ledge, you won't make it. Now I would suggest when you're doing this is try to get a decent genie. It's not 100% required, but it does help for the first wave. It speeds it up because you can start dropping more stuff before your towers have taken out stuff for you to collect mana. So on either side here, you're going to put a striker facing straight ahead. What's nice about these is they'll shoot through the floor, shoot guys coming up the stairs too, so that works pretty well. Work really good for towers, or for spiders as well. Alright, so I press G at this point. Because I have my nifty little guy here, I'm going to go try to DPS some guys here and get some mana. I try to get, you know, a few hundred. then really quickly drop some strikers before you get webbed by spiders. If you can get at least 1 or 2 off, you're normally good. They'll kill the spiders. So I'm always looking at gaining as much mana as I can so I don't have to loot chests for the next wave. I like to have max mana, that way when I go to drop everything for the second wave I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so here you're going to want to drop lightning tower after the 3 strikers, 2 fireball towers. Now that right there will cover this whole side. Now 3 strikers are mainly for dealing with the spiders. You got lightning tower that helps out quite a bit, 2 fireball towers. Only the 1 wall is all you need because they'll run to that and start wailing on it. So next you want to come over here. Now chances are if you don't have a genie and are able to get the mana, you're going to run around and have to collect the chests. And if you're in here for gear, you're going to want to collect the chests anyway. But I have gear that's better than what drops in here, so I don't pick anything up anymore. And I might make a video of where I farm my gear, which is hardcore Misty, the new map. And I'll show you my setup for that eventually. It's just a lot longer, and you can't solo the boss, unfortunately. So, okay, so that's all I do there. Now the reason for this, oops, let me swap characters here to my monk, and it doesn't really matter what your stats are on your monk, as long as they're tower spec, they'll be alright. Now, excuse me. Now the reason I do this, you have 2 facing forward, then you have 1 facing off to the side, and what that does is that'll cover the air units. So you definitely want to face those off to the side. Then just put an ensnare right here on the stairs, another ensnare right here, and 1 more over here. The ensnares make this map incredibly easy. Now you have 2 options. You can stand over here and wait for ogres and DPS them if you want, but what I do after this wave is over is I like to go and sit over there by that other set of towers and boost them with an apprentice guardian. Those are very nice. Or you can use a huntress guardian, but apprentice guardian is a little bit better than a huntress guardian in my opinion. That'll boost the damage of the towers by quite a bit. Now something you may want to do if your tower health is pretty low, you'll want to boost up that wall there and these walls here. The ogres come to that and right here. They don't come over to that side, that's just normal mobs. Another thing you definitely want to do for this map, because it'll keep you from getting any hits on the crystal, is to have enough damage on these that they can one-shot flyers. And what you're going to want to do is have these be able to do 45,000 damage at one shot. That's your goal anyway. Now I swap back to my apprentice so I don't have to upgrade these. On the later waves the mobs have 44,500 health, I think. So I normally shoot for 45. Right now these only do 41,000, but the first wave here, I don't even know if there's a couple flyers, but in the later waves when there's more flyers, they have higher health, you want to be able to one-shot them. So, but if you keep your apprentice out, I believe you get quite a big boost. It's like 20%, maybe 25% tower damage boost. So I would keep your apprentice out if you have any chance of doing that. So what I do normally, back before I was keeping my apprentice out, I'd upgrade the ones pointing to either side and try to get them up. I think I'd upgrade them like twice when I had lower damage to try to get them up there. But now my apprentice is out, I don't have to upgrade them. And you can upgrade, you know, whatever you want. Plenty of mana, but I don't worry about it. What I do is I swap back to my apprentice, grab my apprentice guardian, go ahead and start the wave. I mean, obviously you guys would want to check chests, that kind of thing. Then I found out a really nifty thing. I always was standing right here. Well, I was bored, and I jumped up here, up over here, and I started watching the map. If you look closely, if you watch the map, when the spiders start spawning, they just stand there. If you look at the top of the map there where the chest is, it's just sitting there. Over there on the left hand side before the little half circle, it's just sitting there. The reason for that is the mobs can't get here. The programming for the spiders are to go for you. Being that they technically can't see you, don't know where you are, they're not moving. On later waves that can cause quite a congestion, so what I normally do is I just sit here and wait, and normally when it gets down to the last 20-30 mobs, I'll jump down and that'll get them to start moving. What's nice about this is you can do this on a lot lower lower stat wise, being that these spiders aren't there to add to the mob count for your towers, as well as they're not there to web your towers. That helps out quite a bit. Now I found this out after I already had about 1200 tower damage, and I was just messing around just I don't know, yesterday I think it was. But I was doing this just fine. What I normally would do is stand right down here, and I was normally out of range enough and still able to boost these towers. As you can see now, the lovely spiders are moving and getting killed. So yeah, you can stand down here, but if you don't want to die, because this is hardcore, jump up here. You only have the one life, so be careful of the spiders, and the ninjas can be the way you die. So alright, well that's that wave. Let's go ahead and start the next one. Now this is a very good starting point if you're wanting to start off in Nightmare, start getting mythical loot. You can get some pretty decent stuff. I would say farm this map. It's great for XP. So you can level, you can start this at 70 in your 70 tower gear, and if you can't complete the whole thing, at least you can do a few waves of it and get some decent drops. So I would do this, farm it for gear, and once you get a pretty good set, I would shoot for about 1,000 tower damage, and a basic mythical set, probably with, I try to shoot for at least 50. Let's see, with non-bonus for a set bonus, I would say at least 50 to 60 tower stats. And what that'll do is when you put it in the, if you shoot for like 60 tower stats, when you put it in a complete set bonus, it'll boost it to, there's a little ogre over there. He's dying pretty quick, even without a boost. If you have two people, you can have someone sitting over there to boost those towers too, but it's really not needed. This is where the most traffic is. But anyway, so if you shoot for like 60-ish stats on your mythical loot, with say at least 60 to 70 upgrades, the more the better, and look for some average stats. You don't want to go with gear that's limiting, like say it's taking away from your health. Oh, I need to drop down, get stuck. But I wouldn't spend any money on anything with less than say 50 to 60-ish tower stats. Boost it up about halfway, just help to get your stats up. What you're really going to want to shoot for eventually, once you start doing Misty, is to get gear with 80 to 100 base stats, and 100 plus upgrades. So as you can see, a lot of my pieces, these were lower pieces on this guy. These are only like 50 to 70 upgrade ones, but I just haven't bothered spending the money because it costs a lot of money to upgrade these, and I've been doing fine with the way he is. So you really don't need 1500 tower damage or anything like that. So something I do between the 7th and 8th is I upgrade the auras because they get kind of low, or repair them, whatever you want to do. So then I jump back here. If you're quick, you can normally get one of these runs done in 10 to 15 minutes. So you get pretty good XP, and yeah, it works pretty well. So my recommendation for Nightmare is concentrate on your apprentice. They seem to be the best class for Nightmare. I've tried out Spires and stuff, and they're just not as good. If you're wanting to get serious into doing Misty, I would suggest having two different apprentices. If you're pretty serious in the game, chances are you have another one, or you could level them really quick. At this point here, you could set up this stuff and switch to another character in power level. I was power leveling some of my buddies in here earlier. They were getting for one run from 0 to like 42 in one run, so it's real quick on the XP. So you can power level other characters here as well if you want. And that guy's just about dead. I can see this wall does take a little bit of a pounding, but That's about the lowest I think I've ever seen it drop, and it's very easy to repair and upgrade. As you can see, there's tons of mana here, and it's constantly disappearing because there's too much. So, but with an apprentice guardian or hunter guardian, it's going to make anything that comes down here die very quickly. So, as you can see, I'm getting some congestion there due to all the spiders. But I normally wait till about 400 or so before I jump down. It just makes it much easier. I don't ever have to worry about taking any damage. So you'll get bonuses for that. You know, flawless. You'll get what is it? Master builder, master strategist. Well, you won't get master strategist if you use your genie to try to get stuff. So I guess you won't get that one, but you'll get invincible and some other stuff. So this is the point where I normally jump down, let the spiders come out. You know, there's less mobs. So. But yeah, the around 1,000 tower damage, 900 to 1,000 tower damage, good attack speed. You start doing Misty on Nightmare. As I was saying, you should get another apprentice and start finding gear, and you don't have to dump a ton of money into it, but just upgrade it, 20, 30 levels, which is pretty cheap when you're getting decent money. Into tower health. That's what you want to do, is make a tower health set for another apprentice. The reason for that is the walls of the Squire cost way too much. I mean, they're 3 defensive units when you can drop 1 or 3 times as many walls with the apprentice. I think mine, I shot for about 700 tower damage when I started it. Right now my guy's got, my other apprentice has, I think, 1,200 tower health. So it makes it nice. You jump on that guy, you start the map with that guy, run around, place your walls, switch to your monk, put your snares down, and then switch to your tower apprentice, start putting up towers. And I will make a video of that later. There are quite a few videos out there, you can see how to do it, but that's my recommendation. As you find gear, may not have really good stats and anything else, but on, I think, a Nightmare Misty hardcore, I'm making between 60 and 80 million just off loot that sells on the ground. So quick runs, and you can afford to upgrade your gear at least partially. So I wouldn't suggest your gear that you find out of this place necessarily maxing it out. Wait till you get your Misty gear. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Very easy run. There's that exploit, but you don't need it unless you're really lacking on your tower stats. Otherwise, you can just stand over here, or you can run around and stuff. But keep in mind, this is Nightmare Hardcore, and you only have the 1 life. So if you're struggling with it, don't die. You won't be able to repair for the the ogres. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys liked it. Thanks.